Hey everyone, welcome back to my latest rally trapping video. In today's video, I'm going to do a little bit of a count update slash how to build a rally trap slash kind of where the account's going and stuff like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of go over the account, basically show you some of the stats and what I have on the account. If you're trying to build an account, you can always follow along. Keep in mind this is a pay-to-play account. For free-to-play, the big difference is you're probably going to need a lot more troops on your rally trap opposed to this account, which can cap people running under 20 million troops. So we're going to do a couple things. First thing, we're just going to basically go over what my current setup is, what gear I have, and the current stats I'm running. And then I'll go over some of like the familiars, just where I'm getting a bunch of these stats and all that. And then we'll go over troops and go from there. So anyways, haven't done an account update in a while, so I'll kind of show you what my fake gear stats are. My fake gear is currently jeweled, so it does have good jewels in there. I'll kind of show you what it's running here. So it doesn't have full gold jewels. It does still have a couple monster hunt jewels, has some Dragon Arena jewels in it as well, but I am currently running this a little bit heavier in cav just so I can get countered, because sometimes I sit in range wedge and just let them counter me for the first couple rallies. So I put a couple extra cav jewels in there just for that. So you can see what the construction stats are right now. It really doesn't have any HP or anything on this. It is construction gear. It's not supposed to be a war set. So it's running 130 imp, 150 range, and 187 cav. Again, that's kind of from those Dragon Arena jewels I have in there as well, and then I have some like Terror jewels and stuff in there just to make up some of the stats. So we'll take a look and see what the gear or the stats are on that gear. So let's take a look here. So currently in this construction gear, I'm running 643 on the inf, 638 on the range, and 702 on the cav. So you can see my my infantry defense, range defense, and cav defense are just over 400%. And then my infantry HP, range HP, and cav HP are at around that 400. Infantry's a little lower, range at 391, and cav's just over 400 there. So that's the what's called army attacks 2. So I'm at 220. Again, this is without any ultra boost or anything like that. 220 army attack, 214 army defense, and 321 army HP. Don't have a lot of infirmaries, and I do have full debuffs and full counter on this account. So again, pay-to-play account. But those are the stats in the construction gear. This is kind of what I mostly trap in. I do have a fake gear set as well. It's just not currently jeweled, so I can't really show you the stats with the fake gear on there, but it is around 750 mix. And the fake gear, I mean, you can probably tell just based on the construction gear stats. You can just add about 80% on top of whatever there's on there, and that's probably what I'm running in this set if it's fully jeweled, except this set has army HP and other stuff in there because it's an actual war set. And then there's the mix set, which is the set I don't use very often, but it is currently jeweled, sort of. So it is really heavy in the infantry on this one, but you can see the stats on that. 3-piece champ, some good tempering, which I could upgrade that some more. Actually, before we get too much in this video, I do have a ton of Astrolight selection chests I just haven't used. So let me know what I should be upgrading in my set with this. Should I go for cups? Should I go for the Skull Crusher? I guess I can finish the body off. I could even do my blasts. I could do some more in the blasts as well. So let me know what you want me to upgrade in the comments down below, and maybe I'll do an upgrade video on that next. I think I have some artifacts I gotta open as well, so maybe I'll do an upgrade slash artifact video on here as well, just do some upgrades. But we can check out the mixed stats on here as well. I mean, hopefully the forts or the bots don't pick this up, but we'll take a look. So 912, 753, 788. Again, it's not. It's kind of more jeweled for infantry right now, so there's a little more infantry stats in there. You can see those, and those are the army stats as well on that set. It is kind of more set up for 622 or something like that right now for the the set, I can obviously add some more cab back into that to get it over 800. My range is just a little bit lower because I think my base stats on my range are a little bit lower. So actually, let's just find out. Let's take off all the gear here. See what the straight base stats without the gear on is. And let's take a look there. This is without any gear on. So these are just the base stats without the gear on, and it is just set up for mix, I guess. So 513, 488, 515, and I could always change that around if I wanted more of each of them, depending on what talents I want. But those are the base stats without any gear at all on. So not much different, honestly, other than the attacks, because again, the construction gear doesn't give any stats other than what's jeweled in it, because it's construction gear, not war gear. So again, that's the setup. By the way, if you want to know some other better pieces, let's say you're a free-to-play player. Actually, this is probably a better set for free-to-play. Let's go back to my fake set. So this is a better set for free-to-play players. So if you guys are going free-to-play, this is actually a decent set to have. So you can always go the Frostwing Greatsword. The Winter Mitts are a good HP option. You can always go Cups, but obviously you're not gonna have Mythic. You can go Blight Rings in there if you want. There's other options as well. Scrolls are a good thing too. If you ever go free to play, you can always add those in. It's really up to you what you want to go. I wouldn't suggest anything like drums and cups, or drums and vials usually. Just, they don't really have good mix set stuff. At least the Blight Ring has the HP and defense that you can add into your free to play set. For boots, you can always go Storm Tassets or Dragon Talons for free to play. Those are your two kind of free to play options. For main body, you can go Firewall Plate. You can go like Hardened Carapace if you're really free to play. Most people go Firewall Plate for their mix just because it has dual and it's good. For the helmets, you can always go Beast Helm as well, depending on which one's a higher tier. Usually go more for Bumblebee if you can, but if obviously you have a higher tier Beast Helm, sometimes you can go that. Bumblebee Helm just has higher army HP. That's pretty much it. Obviously, if you're pay to play, you can go Champ if you want, but that's another thing. Again, main hand, Frostwing Greatsword or Skull Crusher, your main two options. If you're really free to play, Fiery Tomahawk. So again, my solo trap ran this for years, so it's not bad. It's an option. It's just obviously if you're rally trapping, you probably want to at least have some stuff in there because you need some stats, obviously. So you probably are looking at my base stats and like, how the heck do you have such high base stats? So I will have to go over base stats because that's how I get massive stats in this gear. So I'll kind of go over just the options for that right now, just for people who haven't been following the account, don't really know what's going on, why the stats are so damn high, even without construction, or even your construction gear, why they're so high. It's mostly base stats. So there's a couple things for that. One is familiars. So where's my familiar thing? So if you guys don't know, every single familiar, like all these familiars, they do have base stats in here. So there's like range defense. So you just basically go through all the familiars and try and max these as much as possible. Like every single one of these have them. This account has all the pack 5s on it. So basically all this is maxed. So all my familiars are maxed, so I'm getting base stats from there. Second thing, castle skins. So again, that's a pay to play thing. I don't have a lot of castle skins on here, but I have updated some of them. So again, I don't want to put too many stars on this account. It just gets a little too scary, so I'll keep it a little bit lower, but you can go higher. Again, if you're free to play, you're probably not going to have castle stars, so you can ignore this part of the base stats. I also got the debuff one because I like debuffs, so this one's really expensive. Don't suggest doing that unless you want to go super heavy pay to play, but keep in mind debuffs are really good against max accounts. So the next thing obviously is the Vergeway. So you do get stats from these things. You get some base stats and stuff from these, so you can always slowly do the Vergeway. I'm not finished the Vergeway. I am way further than I used to be because I started doing it, but this one takes a long time. I haven't put any like gems or anything into this, which you could. So, but yeah. So Vergeway is another way to get some base stats in there. Next one would be passive heroes. So again, if you're going to buy anything, I do suggest Chronicler first because the counter is probably the most important part. So Chronicler, and then for your familiars, Jade Worm. Those are the two ones you want for the counter boost because counter boost is super important. I would say it's the most important thing if you're going to spend any money in a trap. Get the counter boost on there. It's probably the first thing you should get, and then if you're going to spend more, you can always get it later, or other stuff later. Base stats, there's some passive heroes in here, so I pretty much maxed all the passive heroes on this account, which is why the base stats are high. The only one I don't have is Wandering Alchemist. That one's at purple, and I got like, I'm halfway in purple on that one, so. Again, these ones just give passive stats, so you always have those stats. So that's where my base stats are going a little bit higher on that as well. I'm not sure if I missed anything for base stats. Obviously, research. You can do research as well. I'll show you which research I have done. Currently on this count, have not done any of the mana one. I've got the first part of the advanced war, this one, just for these attacks, because they give you like 10% on there. I don't have any tier 5 research, wherever it is it here, tier 5 research done, so I'm missing 10% base stats, I believe, from the tier 5. Not sure if I'll ever do it. I have definitely enough books, as you can see. I got 50k of them, so I could do tier 5, just decided haven't done that yet. You can do it on your account. It's up to you what you want to do on your account. For Wonder Battles, I've got nothing in here. Sigils, I do have it for the base stats again. You get 15% attack on this one, so it's good. And there's the HP and defense as well at all 15, so you can always do this one if you want. Again, this is extra might. If you really want to add that in, that's up to you. I decided to add it on this one. Then there's this one. Again, this just gives extra attack with familiar, so if you have familiars on your wall, you have the extra attack. It's fine for that. Familiars, I've only gone up to pack 3. I've not done pack 4. Pack 4 is a good familiar, by the way, and if you do want to do a like tier 3 frontline, the shield familiars are actually really good to do. So I'll go over those a little bit later, but here I've just done breakthrough, haven't done anything on there. Army leadership, again, just for the debuffs. I do have full debuffs on this account. You can add these. I like debuffs on the account, so. Military, these are just basic stuff to get subsidies and stuff. Defenses, ignore that. Monster Hunt, you can ignore that. Obviously, military, you need it just to get tier 4. So, and the rest, again, these are just for tier 4, or tier 4, you need these anyways. So, that's pretty much it for there. I don't think there's anything more for base stats on the account. Oh yeah, I was gonna go over the familiars. So, I'll show you what my wall familiars are. These are free to play, don't ignore those. So the ones I usually use would be this. So these are just the 3 pack 5s. They do the 600% damage when 4% of your troops have fallen. And then I also have Jade Worm on my wall as well, which reduces damage by 9% when 4% of your troops have fallen. So that's my setup if I am going hardcore. I'll switch these if I'm getting countered or something like that, or I want them to counter me. I'll switch them on my wall, switch them off, just because it's a little scary to have a bunch of pack 5s on the wall. Some people might not want to hit you with those on. So usually I just leave free to play ones on there, and it's not stuff I would suggest. If you are free to play and you can't get the pack 5s and you do want to have a good beefy front line, like I said, the shield familiars are a good route to go. So I'll go into the pack 4s here and take a look at the shield familiars. So let's say you want to go range frontline and you want to get countered or something like that. These familiars are very good. So basically it summons a shield once 12% of your certain amount of troops have fallen. So let's say you want to go a beefy range frontline. You can always put this one on your wall because it'll shield 7% of your total troops. Let's say you have a 20 mil frontline. Let's just say that. So basically this will pop once 12% of those have fallen. So on 20 mil, that's like 2.4 mil. It'll summon a shield to protect 7% of your range troops, which would be on 20 mil, 1.4 million. So basically, once they've done 2.4 million, they would have to do an additional 1.2 million above that for you to take any more damage. So the most you'll take at a 20 mil frontline is 2.4, unless they're going to do more than 3.6 mil, then you'll start adding damage, because it'll basically protect 1.2 million troops from you being hurt. So let's say you even have a smaller frontline. Let's say you have a 10 mil tier 3 frontline. Let's just say it's a very beefy tier 3 frontline. 12% of that is 1.2 mil. Yeah, that makes sense. 12% of 10 mil is 1.2 mil. So once you've taken 1.2 mil damage, for them to do any more damage to your front line after that, they would have to do an additional 700k tier 3 damage. So that's how good these ones can be really, basically that's how these can be really good. So let's say you normally take 1.6 mil on an attack, and basically if you had this familiar, the most you would take in that situation will only be 1.2 because they're not doing more than 1.9 mil. So doesn't matter how much more above that, as long as they don't do another 700k, you're still only going to take 1.2. So it's a great little familiar to have on your wall. If you're running a massive front line, maybe not, because then you have to take a lot of damage for it to trigger. But let's say you're running a tier 3 front line, and you're not running as many troops because you're only running 10 mil, let's say. Then, like I said, if they do over 1.2 mil, or if they do, yeah, over 1.2 mil, this will trigger, and they have to do an additional 700k for you to take any more damage. It's possible to take more than that. I'm just saying it will save 700k troops if that ever happens. So, or let's say you would have took 3 mil, you're only going to take 2.3 mil because it saves 700k troops from that. So it's a pretty good familiar to have. I don't have it. I'm thinking of getting it. It is like 40 mil more might to get pack 4s out there, so it's something you think about. But actually, do these give any base stats? I actually don't know because I don't have the familiar. So let's see. Coalition speed. Oh, this one gives range defense. So whatever. Anyways, I'm just missing out some range defense on that one. But again, the pack 4s might have some passive stats you want to look at as well. So anyways, so we've gone over the gear, which is pretty simple. Familiars you can put on your wall, and then we haven't gone over troops, have we? But we've gone over base stats. Don't think and I've gone over research as well. So I showed you what I had for research. The other thing I haven't done is this new update. So again, the mana thing might be okay. So I haven't even looked into this at all, really, because again, you can upgrade this and then get your troop stats on it, which will give you, what is it, base stats? Yeah, your troop power goes up. So these can be good. I don't know what the might is to get all this yet. I haven't even looked into it. I'm not really spending any money on the account right now, so getting these is pretty hard. Again, I have not looked into it. So this is something you might want to do, because again, I think the troop power on top of your base stats and all that is going to be very strong. But I think it's going to be really expensive, and I'm not sure how much might it's going to add. So you can look into that if you want, but I'm not doing it right now. But eventually, maybe I'll look into it. So yeah, it does have quite a bit of might. Range base up 0.4%. Whatever. Anyways, not going to look into that now, but we'll go over troops. So troops are something you can think about doing. So let's just go into here. So what you can do is either go a tier 2 frontline or a tier 3 frontline. Right now I'm running tier 3 frontline because I'm just kind of messing around with it. Tier 3 frontline is better, I would say. For the reasons is because since you're going to be taking less damage, since tier 3s are more tanky, the chance of them burning you is going to be less, if that makes sense. Because they got to do, instead of, let's say, do 2.3 mil tier 2 damage to you, they got to do 2.3 mil tier 3 damage, and they got to basically do almost 50% more damage because tier 3's kind of like 50. It's not double the strength in the front line, but it's like maybe 60% more, I would say. So let's say if you take 1 mil tier 3 damage, you'd be normally like 1.6 mil tier 2 damage. It's something like that. I don't know the exact calculation. I haven't really exactly tested it, but I'm thinking it's around there. So they gotta have to do a lot more damage to you to actually burn you if you have the tier 3 front line opposed to the tier 2 front line. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm messing around with. I messed around with like a full tier 3 front line with no tier 2, added some tier 2 in there as well just for fun. And then for back line, you can always go tier 4 or tier 5. Again, I'm just tier 4 on this account, but if I had tier 5, I'd add it into there just to obviously do it. But on this account, it's more tier 4. I find 4 mil of each more than enough because it's very beefy. So, so it's really up to you what you want to do. But I would suggest a lot of backline just because these max accounts have so much HP and defense nowadays that you really want that extra 8 or that extra damage from the tier 4/tier 5 to be able to cap the rallies. Because I don't think I can cap max accounts in my construction gear. I can cap them in my fake war gear. So the one that's not jeweled right now, I have capped like 3-piece plus emperors in that just fine. So actually, maybe I think it was a 4-piece emperor I capped, or was it a 5-piece? I don't know. Anyways, I can't cap it in my construction gear. I can cap it in my fake gear, and obviously my real gear is obviously overkill for a lot of stuff, so I don't use it that often. But the 4 mil tier 4 does help a lot. So if you're having problems capping, just make sure you got enough of the back line. That does help a lot in your capping. And then let's say you don't have as good a stats as me. Let's just say you don't have a stat. I mean, you probably don't. So if you're running a rally trap, you probably don't, because again, this is more like a lead account that I trap on. So if you don't have those stats, you just run more troops. That's basically all it is. So basically, if you have the 4 mil tier 4, just add a bigger front line. That should be enough to cap. Add some more tier 5. If you have tier 5, you can add those. That should help. And then you can always try the tier 3 front line just to stop burns. Even if they do walk back, there's a good chance they won't burn you. So if you cap some leaders, it'll be harder for them to rescue the leader if you have the tier 3 front line opposed to the tier 4. You can always try the shield familiar, because that does help reduce damage quite a bit. And I'm thinking of maybe doing it, but again, it's quite a bit more might on there. And again, yeah, this account has 4 familiar slots. So the other thing is I'm not running a lot of infirmaries. Sorry, I don't know where any of my stuff in my castle is anymore with this new update. It's so hard to find stuff. They're all over the place. Like, my infirmaries are down here now. You can see I didn't really spend much time building up my castle. I really do not have fun doing that. So other people are making their castles so pretty. I'm like just like all over the place. I just put it near my wall, the stuff I want, because I'm like, if I'm switching my familiars there, so everything's close by here. That was my thinking. But yeah, it took me forever just to find things in my castle once they did this update, because they moved in places, and I'm like, where is my stuff? Like, where's yeah, that's there. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I was trying to release some leaders the other day. I didn't know where my prison was. So I'm like, sorry guys, I want to give you back the leaders for the ransom, but I have no idea where my prison is. So it took me like 5 minutes to find it, and apparently they hid it over here. I was like, oh, okay, there it is. But I was like, is that it? No, it's my battle hall. Again, I still don't know where it is. I don't know where the hell the thing went. Is this it? No, it's my embassy. I still don't know where okay. Anyways, I'll have to find that again. But yeah, I lost it again. But anyways, so yeah, if you have any questions about rally trapping, just let me know in the comments down below. I will try to answer them, but if there's anything you want me to showcase, and yeah, let me know what you want me to upgrade on my stuff. So mix set, is there anything there you want me to upgrade with those? Obviously can't upgrade champ with them because they don't have monster stuff. You can only upgrade them with the astrolate, which I can temper some stuff, but I haven't decided which one I want on there. So I can do the skull crusher here up more, maybe my cups. I can always max the fireball plate, and then there's my blast sets as well, like my infantry set here, the cav set as well. I can always get those up to max as well. They're not really jeweled right now, but also I could jewel my fake gear again, because I love trapping the fake gear. It's a lot of fun, because again, I have around 750 mix in this with the stuff on there, so it's quite nice, but we'll see. And it actually has some HP and defense and army attack and stats in there, so it does make it much easier to cap people with that. Yeah, and this one's not jeweled properly right now, I don't think. But yeah, that's the war gear currently. So yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I went over everything today. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. If I forgot something, let me know. I can always just add it in another video. So yeah, anyways, I will have some more videos coming out, so keep an eye out for them, and I'll see you guys in the next one.